Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 358 to 359 for the 16th to 17th of February for the Ukraine war, or the Russia-Ukraine war, or Russo-Ukraine war, or special military operation in Ukraine. And let's start off with Southern Front, everything that is in the south. There's a Ukrainian Mi-8 transport helicopter shot down over Mikhailske on the northern bank of the Dnipro River. This reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. Then we also have reports of attempted drone strike on Sevastopol. According to Ryba, a pro-Russian source, they reported that 2 drones were shot down without causing any damage close to the... probably they are aiming for the naval port at Sevastopol. And so a lot of scare, no danger. Moving on to the Zaporizhia front, or the Zaporizhia line. Over the Zaporizhia line, the super duper uber Zaporizhia offensive is definitely dead in the water. There's no more offensive here. There is shelling, however, reported at Magdalenivka. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, we have also shelling reported at Ohilske, which is actually on the Huyaipole side. And then we have also some fighting reported at Novosilka, according to War Gonzo. I suspect this might be the same information reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry the day before. And that's all from the Zaporizhia line. Moving on to the Donetsk Front. So we are now here in Donetsk. In the Donetsk Front, we have moving south first. Along the Berdyansk Mariupol road, there is this, I would say, rumor. There is some pictures, but I'm not sure how accurate is this. They say there's a huge amount of Russian trucks parked or moving along this entire road from Mariupol all the way to Berdyansk, and the roads is so long that it's 80 kilometers long, according to the so-called mayor of Mariupol on the Ukrainian side. So not sure how accurate is this information. Just take it as rumor for now. Sounds pretty ridiculous. 80 kilometers long of trucks. Over at the Vuhledar region, there is fighting reported at Paraskoviivka, according to Wogonzo. Might be the same report reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry the day before. At Vuhledar itself, we have shelling reported at Vuhledar, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, as usual. And fighting is reported in the south of Vuhledar, according to Wogonzo. Going to come on, click, come out. Yeah, Wogonzo. And the fighting is also reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry on both days, 16 and on the 17th, both by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So the past 2 days, they're definitely fighting in this area. According to Wogonzo, the fighting is in the east and the south. This is on for the 16th. We do not have information about fighting on the 17th from the pro-Russian sources. And that's all from the Vuhledar region. The Russians seems to not giving up on Vuhledar just yet. The forces here is not Wagner private military contractors. It's the Russian forces, Russian military, and maybe they feel pressured, to do something, achieve something, because the Wagners are making so much progress in the Bakhmut Front. And so the commanders here are trying their best to squeeze out some kind of victory, which is kind of dumb. Over at Novomihайлivka, both days we have saw fighting being reported here. Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported fighting on the 16th and on the 17th on both days in the region of Novomihайлivka. We are not sure exactly where the fighting is. There is fighting reported at Vuhledar on the 17th, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Marinka itself, we have fighting reported on both days. Most of the fighting is likely to be from the southern part around this region here. In this region here, in the southern part, and the other one, oops. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of like, what the hell is happening? Okay. And also in the northern part here, on the 16th and on the 17th, both days, the Russian forces are attacking from two sides. They are attacking from the southern side or the southwestern side, and then they are attacking from the northern side from along this farm region. So it's some kind of a pincer, but this pincer it cannot be closed in a way, because there's a lake here which you cannot really just penetrate through, right? So you need to take this crossing, and I believe that this is where they are heading to. Take this crossing, cut off, and then you'll be able to cut off this road from this side, hold this line, and then the entire Ukrainian force around here would collapse. So probably that's what they are trying to do, because you cannot do a normal pincer, in this way, because there's really nothing much there to pincer. So the Ukrainians have been doing so well about reinforcing and holding the line. So I don't think it's the kind of pincer that we usually see. Moving on away from Marinka into the Avdiivka Front. So at the Avdiivka Front, fighting is being reported at Nevelsky, according to Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source. There's fighting reported at Pervomaiske as well, on the 16th, according to the War Gonzo. But however, it's again seems to be a repeat of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry's report. Fighting is reported at Vodian on both days. Both days, on the 16th and 17th. Let me turn around. Okay, on the 16th, it's reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. 17th, also by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Fighting is reported at Yahidne, also by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. The Russian sides didn't really care that much about this region here. Fighting is reported in the southeast of Avdiivka, according to War Gonzo, as well as from the east. So if you look, and then further up north of Avdiivka, there is fighting reported at Krasnohorivka on the 16th, no, 15th. 15? No, 16, you see? 16. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's reported by the Deep State UA. So if you look at the picture here, the Russians are attacking this direction. They're trying to attack towards Yahidne. They're attacking Pervomaiske, trying to push out. And of course, they're attacking Nevelsky in this way. And they're attacking Avdiivka, attacking from two directions, and Krasnohorivka. So, this is the overall picture of what it looks like with the Ukrainians holding the line pretty well. The Russians have been fighting this line for months and months already, so it's nothing new. Moving away from the Avdiivka Front, we do not have anything on the New York front. Moving into the Bakhmut Front. So at the Bakhmut Front, the fighting continues to be along this region here at Ivanivske. The Ukrainian forces launched a massive counteroffensive west of Ivanivske. On the 16th and 17th, Surya Maps and then Ryba reported the Ukrainians actually did a counterattack, with the Ukrainians managed to retake the highway, pushing the front line backwards to this line. So previously the Russians were actually here, so they were pushed back, into this line. The fighting at Avdiivka continues to be reported in the southwest and the southeastern part of Ivanivske. Ukrainians holding the line pretty well in this region here. Curiously though, we have a report by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry in today's report, reporting on yesterday, 17th, saying that there's fighting near Chasiv Yar. If you look at the map, Chasiv Yar is here. It doesn't look anywhere near. The fighting seems to have gone further and further away from Chasiv Yar. So it's unclear why they used the word Chasiv Yar in their report. So yeah, so that's the situation in this region here. So the Chasiv Yar, and then moving on to the Bakhmut city, we have fighting reported on both days according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. These are the two reports. There is no details in terms of where the fighting is, except in the north. Some breaking news at Yahidne. So this is Yahidne. So in case you're wondering, this is Yahidne. And in Yahidne, at this region here, this is the Bakhmut nursery. So the Bakhmut nursery is not as a kindergarten kind of nursery, but this is actually a fruit and plantation nursery. And fighting is being reported near here. According to pro-Russian source, Ryba, they reported that the fighting is now in the area of the Bakhmut nursery in Yakone, so which is Yahidne, and this report is being repeated on the next day, which means this fighting here seems to be pretty accurate, which means that in the northern side of the Bakhmut city, the Russian forces have kind of crossed this road. Oops, wrong color. Kind of crossed this road and attacked into the region of Yahidne, where is one of the town that I mentioned is very important for the Ukrainians to hold. Because as you can see, there is a road going through Yahidne towards Berkhivka, and they can actually link up without the need to use the highway to link to Sloviansk or Kramatorsk. This is for reinforcement purposes. So Yahidne is quite important, and should this line be crossed, be taken out, then Berkhivka will be kind of rendered pointless, and any reinforcement from the northern area to the northern part of Bakhmut will be cut off. So that's the big news about Yahidne. Over at the Vuhledar region, north of Bakhmut, the biggest news is actually the capture of Paraskoviivka. So according to Prigozhin media service, or press service, they reported that the settlement of Paraskoviivka is completely under the control of the units of the Wagner private military contractors. So weirdly, they have this statement about blockade on ammunition. And other pro-Russian sources say that this is actually referring to some kind of sabotage on the Russian side, trying to deprive the Wagner group of ammunition. I'm not sure how legit this is. So we'll continue to monitor and see whether if there is such infighting, to the point where they actually cut off ammunition to the Wagner group, which is quite sinister if you ask me. So what happened earlier was that there is fighting reported at Paraskoviivka, and the Russians were attacking from the north, from the east, and from the south, with the Ukrainians holding a line similar to this. And then the Russians continued to push, and then they succeeded to press deeper, and the line actually becomes smaller. And then this is also when the Ukrainians seems to start to withdraw. And by the end of yesterday, they were still fighting in Paraskoviivka in the day. So by evening, there's reports of Russian forces actually able to go deep into Paraskoviivka, and by nighttime, the reports coming up is that it is captured by the Russian forces. And so the Ukrainian Defense Ministry have not acknowledged the loss of Paraskoviivka. They still reported fighting at Paraskoviivka based on their latest report in the morning. And over in the Berkhivka region, the Russians are attacking now from this junction here of the Bakhmut Sloviansk highway. They are now pushing westward towards Berkhivka. And the breakthrough in the north, the salients, the Russians are also pushing, and they are fighting in this high ground here. So this high ground I can actually show you is actually really a high ground. So this is Berkhivka. As you can see, this region here, this area here, this is Berkhivka, and you can see this high ground here. This high ground is exactly where the Russians are attacking. So the Russians are now attacking this region here, and should they hold positions in the north, in the hilltop, they'll be able to oversee this entire region here. They can actually rain fire down. So if you look from the north, from the high ground, you look down, you can see that Berkhivka is actually pretty much a valley, and you can actually see pretty far from this direction. So you can actually put some kind of artillery here, or tank positions, and you can actually fire very, very far from this location. So this high ground is actually pretty strategic. This one of these high grounds, usually they always talk about high grounds, and I usually think that it's pretty nonsensical. But this high ground seems to be pretty useful. So the latest information coming out from the north of Berkhivka is that the SITREP maps reported that the Russian forces have took control most of the hill that's overlooking the Berkhivka region. This comes after the reports of fighting in the hills. So the Russian forces have managed to go from here to here. They are pushing towards Berkhivka. So the Russian forces do not only just push for Berkhivka in the pincer, as you can see, it's a pincer. It's a pincer movement. It's going to, and the Ukrainian forces are already being squeezed out like a toothpaste from Paraskoviivka. So I think they're going to continue to get squeezed, out furthermore, away from this region, as the Russian forces still continue to push towards Dibrovo Vasilivka and Orikhovo Vasilivka. This is Dubrovo Vasilivka. As you can see, this is the highway. This is the highway towards Sloviansk, and the Russian forces have captured a good portion of the highway, and they are continuing to push towards the towns. These two Vasilivka towns, and not just that, the Russian forces had also reached Zaliznianske, and with the Russians already probably in the outskirts or even within Zaliznianske already. So Zaliznianske is actually on the western side of Blahodane. And moving further up north, as you can see, the Russian forces have already taken the line across the entire river, and this will serve as a natural barrier and the defense line for the Russians against the Ukrainians. So I do not expect the Russians to actually go through here. As you can see, it's actually not so good to hold this ground, as it's actually a higher ground on the other side of the bank, which the Ukrainians definitely will be holding good positions around here along the forest line, shooting over the Russians should they dare to come near. So, but it's not important to hold this position. It's not very strategic. Further up north, we did not have any reports of fighting near Vasilivka for the past 2 days. The fighting is being reported mainly into the Siversk Front, in the most southern point of Siversk Front. So this is Siversk, and in case you're lost, we are now here. In the Siversk at Fedorivka and Rozdolivka, both locations we received fighting reports on both days. They are both reported by Ukrainian Defense Ministry. For both days report on these locations. That means the Russians have been continue to push towards Fedorivka and Rozdolivka, and the Ukrainians are managing to hold a very strong line. Previously, we thought that these two locations will fall pretty quickly. In the end, it did not. So, good job on the Ukrainian side. Fighting is being reported at Vasily, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry's report on the 17th. And there is fighting reported near Vimka as well. This is also from today's morning report. Fighting is being reported at Bilohorivka on the 16th, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. And then this information, of course, reported being replicated by Wogonzo the next day, which is yesterday, in today's morning report. So that's all from the Siversk Front. Not sure what's happening at Bilohorivka, but the Ukrainian line definitely continues to hold really strongly. So this line have not really changed for months, even half a year. So very, very well done on the Ukrainian side in terms of the Siversk defense. This commander at Siversk is definitely really awesome, I think. Over at the Kreminna front, the Russian forces continue to push within the Serbyanske forestry. Fighting is being reported from the direction of Shepelivka. But it's not from Shepelivka, but in the direction Shepelivka, from Kreminna, near Kreminna region, at Kuzmeny region and Dibrova region. So they are attacking this entire region here. To say a lot of details, we don't really have a lot of details. Reports come from Wogonzo, Ukrainian Defense Ministry. We have information. This one, as it is from Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian sources. At Dibrova, we have coming from Wogonzo as well, the Deep State UA, and shelling is being reported in this area according to the Russian Defense Ministry. And here comes the fog again. So foggy. Okay, the fog will be gone. Zoom in, zoom out, you'll be gone. Okay, so sorry for the headache. Moving further up north, from the Kreminna, the forestry, we have fighting reported near Chervonopopivka, and shelling is being reported at Terny and Nevsky, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Fighting is being reported in the counteroffensive by the Ukrainians, according to Ryba, near Ploshchanka. The information repeated on both 16 and 17. So the Russians are they're pushing Chervonopopivka. They shelled Terny and Nevsky, but however the Ukrainians counterattack in this direction. So this is what happening around this region. And moving away from the Kreminna front, we now go to the Svetove region. The Svetove front, we have fighting reported at Berkhivka. This information is coming from Ukrainian Defense Ministry. On both days, 16 and 17, shelling is being reported at this area of Berkhivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. The Russian Defense Ministry also reported attack against Novoselivsky on the 16th, but we did not see information of any capture, so I think the attack might have failed. So, on the 17th, we still see the reports of the attack according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Berestove is reportedly attacked according to the Russian Defense Ministry as well. So, the picture here at the Svetove region looks like this, with the Russians attacking Berkhivka. They shout the Berkhivka. No, they didn't shout this one. And they actually attacking Novoselivsky, and they also attacking Berestove. So far the Ukrainian lines continue to hold. Moving up to the Kupyansk region. At the Kupyansk front, we have fighting reported at Sinkivka. According to who is this? Ukrainian Defense Ministry, on the 16th and on the 17th. Ryba reported reinforcement at Sinkivka as they expect the Russians to do a strong push from the Liman-Pershi region. At the Liman-Pershi region, the Russian Defense Ministry announced that they had conducted some offensive operation in this area, similarly in the area near Hryanykivka. And at Hryanykivka, fighting was reported on the 16th, and on the 16th, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, and then later it was reported by Deep State UA that and Surya maps that Hryanykivka has been captured by the Russian forces. So in this Dvorichna, Kupyansk region, so the Russian forces are attacking at Sinkivka. They're attacking out of Pershi-Liman. They're attacking Hryanykivka, captured it, and they continue to push. So in this region here, what is the significance of Hryanykivka is that there is a crossing here. There's a crossing here. So the Russians, with the capture of Hryanykivka, actually able to control this crossing. So this crossing is unusable now, and they are able to free up all these forces here, and they can actually concentrate on their push southward. So as long as they hold this bridge, the Ukrainian forces over at Dvorichna, which is this town, this city around here, will not be able to push in. So this is Dvorichna, in case you guys are wondering. This Dvorichna, this entire town here. Yeah, entire town here, this Dvorichna. So with this, then the Russians can actually, put all their attention on Kupyansk, which is this major city here with a major crossing. So capturing this, they can actually focus and go towards Kupyansk and capture this. So that's what happened over at the Kupyansk front. And that's all for the summary for the day of 358 to 359 for the 16th and 17th of February. Feeling a bit sick, you can hear it from my voice. But thank you for watching, and do press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next update.